This chapter is finally about going out in the field and doing research. It's about roles and responsibilities, about how to have a conversation and not an interview, and some project examples. What I've told you might feel a little bit overwhelming. So many things to think about and to keep in mind. So that's really what really helps is to be in a team. I usually like to be in a setup of 2 or 3 people. One is the lead interviewer and one is taking notes, and the third person is actually taking still photography or video recording. How to have a conversation and not an interview. Sometimes people need a little bit of time to think about your questions. They need time to process what that was actually about that you've just asked them, and they're trying to remember examples or stories. In situations like this, we want to give people time to think. A tip from Lucy, my colleague, is that when we ask a question and we don't have an immediate response, it's quietly to, in our minds, count to 5 and then ask the follow-up question. So we really want to give people time to reflect. One thing about etiquette. When we're in people's homes and take still photography, especially in a sensitive context such as healthcare or personal finance, it's important that we don't capture anything that has our participants' information on it. And some of the things are obvious, such as an envelope that has the patient's or participant's name on it, an address, and that is lying around, or family pictures that are somewhere in the background. Unfortunately, people don't say what they think, and they don't do what they say. So as we are interviewing the person, we will realize that not everything they say is what actually is going on. So we want to capture the non-verbal communication as well. For example, the body language, or when you ask them to show you something, for example, thinking of a diabetes patient, how they are going to manipulate their injection device. You want to take notes and want to capture what they're actually struggling with. Here's an example from our field work.
Okay, it was a product innovation project for a manufacturer of drainage pipes, among other things. So it's pretty down to earth, a manufacturer, heavy industrial stuff. And we were exploring opportunity areas in different markets in Germany, Spain, England, the UK, and Austria. And we discovered 3 different cultures in terms of how people approach in the building world drainage pipes. And we were doing research in Munich, in Germany. And in Germany, traditionally, it was cast iron pipes what was in use for drainage, which is very high quality stuff, but very heavy. And we had this long conversation in the building site with a very experienced plumber, who explained to us how great it was to work in that manner, how he taught everything he knew to the Lehrlinge, to the apprentices, and everything sounded very streamlined and very well. And we were taking notes all the time. And at the end of the interview, we just hung out for a little bit longer, just observing, taking pictures, asking stupid questions. And there comes this moment when we saw this man, just like older, like over 50 it was, man climbing on a ladder and trying to install a segment of cast iron pipe. And he was leaning back, and what he had behind him was like, I don't know, it must have been like 15 meters, like free fall. And he was leaning like that on a ladder, having this segment of cast iron, who must have been like 4 kilograms at least. And somebody took a picture of that. And it really looks like he's in a circus. And according to him, that was no problem at all. And we nearly had a heart attack looking at it. So you could see the major difference between people's perceptions of their own work when they are experienced and the actual risk of difficulty of it. So this man wasn't lying. He was describing his job as he saw it, and he was so used to dealing with this heavy material that he just dealt with it, no problem. But we had actually the opportunity, a golden opportunity, not only see it, but actually document it and communicate it. And so with those stories, you really build them up and create arguments that kind of serve to discover opportunities and to have creative discussions with customers, clients, or even stakeholders. So that was very good.
And as we are in their environment, it's our job to watch out for workarounds and ways how they actually solve their problems. And finally, 3 things to keep in mind. Have a conversation, not an interview. Let people show you what they are doing, and look for workarounds.